Here's a quick guide to help you study for the Term 1 final. On the final, you will need to give a summary of the story that we read in class. This will be a new story that you've never read before. Remember that in your summary, you need to include the characters, the conflict, and the setting. In an objective summary, there's no opinion. It's just the facts. You also need to write a sample theme statement for the story. Here's the one I've made. Cisneros explores the dynamic nature of dreams through Esperanza's disappointment in the house in Manga Street. I filled this out based on the vignette, The House on Manga Street. So for the next question, you need to record a specific example of one of the elements listed below in the text. You need to label it appropriately. So I chose images. Then I give a quote that explains it. And then the next step, you need to explain why the example, it should say in question 3, why the example in question 3 is an example of that element. So then I explain how it is an example of imagery. And then finally, you need to justify and include any necessary backing of how this example of the element supports the theme. So just like in an argument where your evidence, you need to tie it back to your claim with justification. On this test, you will need to tie this example to your theme statement. So you can pause it and read through that if you want. So some things that will help you on the test are to know all these terms. These with the green bar around them over here are the ones that you will need to know to answer the questions on the test. Objective summary, you'll have to give one of those. A theme statement, you'll have to be able to write one. Remember our formula. In justification, you will have to justify how one of the elements relates to the claim, or to the theme statement, excuse me. Ordering of events, that was hard to come up with a definition for, because it's just the specific order that the author chooses to put the events in. Think of The House on Manga Street and how she ordered the vignettes. The selection of details is the same thing. It's the specific selection of details that an author chooses to include. So if he's trying to make someone look evil, he might be described as wearing dark clothing, having tattoos, piercings, things like that, and that will help illuminate that character. And then another set of words that will be on the test are these. Static and dynamic characters, flat and round characters, protagonist, antagonist, and then internal and external conflict. To help practice your understanding of each of these, you could also try and come up with examples, and that would help you. It pretty much does it for the test. The test is actually on the website, which you can get to through the staff page. Click on my name, Alex Dreyer, and my blog. And then there's a tab at the top that says Classroom Resources. And if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a link that says Term 1 Assessment. It'll be there. If you want a story to practice this with, I would suggest maybe an Edgar Allan Poe story like The Telltale Heart or Cask of Amontillado. Or there's a short story called The Story of an Hour. That could also work well for this. If you have any questions, please email me at adreyer@waukee.k12.ia.us.